Hello, in this video I'm going to cover how to get the Thieves Guild on all your characters in an easier way. You still have to go through getting all the missions, but the objective here is to get as many characters as you want to the point where they can do the daily heist missions. And why that is important is the new update that is coming, update 50, or excuse me, season 1 is coming. We already have update 50. But if you go in the journal and the achievements, you're going to be able to see a lot of different things that you can obtain coming up in the next season. Currently, we can farm the Thieves Guild Armory. This is obtained by uh, farming Thieves Troves and heists. So what I have learned is farming these Thieves Troves are kind of a bear, and it's a lot easier to just do the heists because if you run the build that I'm running, you can pretty much just do it within a couple of minutes, and it's done. The problem with that is once you do a heist, you can't do another one on a character. So you can pick up multiple heists if you change out your characters, and then this will make it easier to farm some of this other stuff. So um, another thing that's dropping is the Prowler's boots. This is a new mythic, or excuse me, that's the achievement. The mythic is actually, if you go into the collection, we can look at that here as well. This is one of the new mythics that they've added to the game, where it's a little bit more of a unique mythic that you can kind of get upgrades to and change what it does for you. It's called the Prowler's Talisman. The first part is when the battle spirit is not active, so you don't want to wear this in PvP zones because it won't work. Bracing while crouching turns you invisible. Um, that's kind of doesn't really help very much because I can do that with a subclass build right here. With Nightblade, I can just sit here like this forever because my Magicka recovery on this build is 3105. Just sitting here without popping a potion. And so that part of the mythic is not really that useful, but we'll take a look at what else you can get from it, from the Prowler's Talisman. This is all kind of Thieves Guild and crime themed, so there may be some other things in here that's helpful. We'll see. Increased your chance of successful pickpocketing by 5%. So that could be useful if you are working towards a pickpocketing uh, achievement or something like that. On dealing critical damage, you get maximum magicka and maximum stamina for 10 seconds, up to 1900 at 10 stacks. So that could be useful in certain situations. If you're on a critical chance build that's doing critical damage, that'll increase your maximum stats quite a bit. If you deal non-critical damage, then you'll get health recovery, magicka recovery, and stamina recovery. So that could be more helpful on a support. And then either effect can occur once up to every second. So you can get upgrades by doing things like in the Thieves Guild coming up, the story missions. So we'll talk about just really briefly the stuff that's coming in the new season. There's a house called the Rogue's Refuge. If you go to Glenumbra in the northern section, there's the Rogue's Refuge right here on the map. Let me turn that add-on off so that it doesn't show on the mini map, or on the main map there, rather. So as you can see, here's the Rogue's Refuge. That will be something that we can obtain in the new season coming up. So there are several things coming to do these missions. So this is all challenge difficulty here. This is PvP veterancy, and then you have quests and things like this is all based on doing stuff for the Thieves Guild in Glenumbra. So why am I bringing this up? If there are things to obtain from this upcoming season, then we're going to want to try and farm that stuff. And this build that I'm running, the Shadows Whisperer, I have done a video on. I will put a link in the description in case you're curious about it or interested. This makes crime in this game extremely easy. Very, very easy to do stuff in this game for crime and not get caught. You're basically invisible when you crouch down because of the sets, as you can see that I'm wearing on the lower right-hand corner, the Vesture of Darloc Brae, as well as the Night Mother's Embrace and Night Terror. These are all Overland sets. Night Terror is from Stormhaven. The Vesture of Darloc Brae is actually right here in northern Elsweyr where I'm at. And then the Night Mother's Embrace comes from Deshaan. So if you want to farm those Overland and just get them, or you can buy them on traders, or if you have them farmed down to completion, then you can just build them for really cheap. But this build works on any class. Basically, all you have to do is run the Animal Companions and the Shadow skill line. The Shadow skill line for the Shadowy Disguise, and then I like to use the Betty for the passive resource restoration. And so how we pick up and by the way, the other skills that I have on my bar are all support. And the reason I do that is so that I can proc the Magicka Aid passive and get a ton of Magicka recovery so that I can really use this Shadowy Disguise really easily. And my Magicka recovery comes back really good. So if I need to go invisible, it's there. I can really fill that back up. And I have a big stamina bar so that I can sneak for a long time. Again, I've done a video on this, but I'm just going to show you in the advanced stats here. My cost for sneak is virtually non-existent. So I can sneak for pretty much however long I want. So when you want to join the Mages Guild, or excuse me, the Thieves Guild on a character, you need to go to a Thieves Den or Outlaw's Refuge in any city. And the icon looks like this on your map right here. So you just want to go to a Thieves Guild that is not in Hughesbane. You have to do that specifically. If you go to Hughesbane, this NPC is not there, so you have to go outside of Hughesbane, and you want to talk to Quen. And she's going to give you the mission to start the Thieves Guild storyline, basically. And then we've got to go to Windhelm on this character because this character is an Ebonheart Pact character, so it will take you to one of your cities. If you're a Daggerfall, I believe it takes you to Stormhaven, for example. I don't remember off the top of my head where the Alkir goes. It's probably in Auradon or something like that. But we're going to go to Windhelm here. And I'm going to show you how easy this is to get this stuff, because if you're wanting to do multiple missions for the heists, you cannot share quests with characters that have not done the initial work. So if you want to be able to farm this more thoroughly, then you're going to need to focus on getting the storyline to the level 3, and this build really does make it easy to do that. So I want to show this in the video, how easy this is to do the missions for this. If this video ends up being too long for your liking, I will put chapters in the video so that you can easily just skip ahead to any part that you want to, or you can just duck out whenever you want. But I do want to show everything in the mission so that I can show how easy it is to do this stuff, because this build is extremely effective at doing these type of missions. And I know they can be frustrating to do the Thieves Guild missions if you don't have a good build like this. I would recommend that you not have a companion out, because they could possibly alert guards or whatnot in here. So another thing is, in order to be invisible from the NPCs, you need to make sure that you're crouched down. As you can see, I'm crouched here. Because I have so much movement speed built into this, I can just walk like this and it looks like I'm standing up, but I am not actually standing up. So we're just going to run over here and we're going to dodge around. Now, this is the one thing you got to avoid is these guards with the lanterns. You cannot walk into their circle there, otherwise you will be revealed. So you have to be very careful not to do that. Otherwise, you'll be alerting the guards. Little things like this, you can jump over the wall while you're still crouched and avoid that and speed the process of doing this mission up quite a bit. As you can see, there are some irritating aspects like this right here where you have to wait for these kind of guards to just move along or go back in their path, but you can wait for them to give you an opening like this and walk past and get the mission progressed here like that. So I don't know if I'm going to do the whole 3 missions, but basically in this video, you need to get your Thieves Guild up to level 3, which I believe is 3 missions or so in the skill line, so that you can do the heist missions on the daily board, and that's where a lot of these leads are dropping. And so we will progress here. Again, as you can see right here, I'm walking right in front of these guys. They cannot see me at all. You just want to make sure you don't cast anything or stand up or run. Very important. If you don't do those things, you'll be able to walk right past everybody like I just did. You can't be seen by anybody as long as you stay like this. So we're just going to open this door. Again, you can work on your ledger domain while you're doing these as well, because you're going to have to undoubtedly open a lot of stuff. And so for this part of the mission, they give you the answer right here on top of the shelving unit. You just go open this, and there's a puzzle with these wheels and the symbols. You basically just have to match the same order that's on top of this shelving unit: the horn, the candle, and the skull. And so for the first one, we're going to change this to have no, not that one. There we go. The left one to match the horn. The candle is there, and then the skull on the last one here. And so then that will automatically close this up and it opens the door. And then we are going to steal this skull on the table here. And then it's going to trigger a scene that you have to basically fight the enemies that are coming in. At this point, you can pull out your companion while he's talking, and that will speed up the process of killing these enemies coming up. Little advantageous thing you can do there. Pull out your Betty and Etch to get major brutality and sorcery, and then you just have to kill these guards right here when they're done talking. And as you can see, Ember really helps. Then you can just put her away. And when that's finished, you can come over around this way and go meet Quinn in the cellar. So then we're talking to her. Then we've got to go talk to Walk Softly, who runs in this direction here. If anybody's interested, I have done a Thieves Guild song. It's called Shadows Hide You, and I will link that in the description in case anybody is interested in listening to that while they do this activity stuff. It's kind of fun to listen to during the game play if you want to mix things up a little bit. We have to listen to his conversation, and then as soon as we can enter the catacombs now. Okay, so just again, make sure you're crouched, don't run. And the reason I say this is because this is going to make it so I can walk past absolutely all the enemies here. Under normal circumstances, they kind of really want you to fight all this stuff. It's a lot quicker if you just hide like this. You won't aggro absolutely anything in this room. Even the Draugrs will stay in their crypts because they can't see you. As you can see, I'm standing right in front of them here like this, and they're not coming out. So I'm just going to walk past this guy as well. And as you can see, I'm also using the Votan's minimap. That makes this really easy to do, because then you can kind of just look on the little minimap square there without having to open your map to figure out which way you have to go or turn or whatnot. Even the spiders can't see me as long as I don't touch them. As you can see, I just snuck past all of that without having to fight any of that. And once you get to a certain point, you can run if you want to, since you're away from everything. And once again, we have to listen to the conversation before we can actually leave. So really quick hint right here, what we just did, we have a bounty for stealing that skull and getting away from the iron wheel, as you can see on my lower screen here. So once you talk to Walk Softly here, they're going to tell you to meet the guild master at the Thieves Den. Before you advance into the city at all, I would recommend you crouch so that you don't get seen by the guards and you don't get accosted by them. You can basically just walk past everything by doing this. And actually, I'm going to show you a quick way of doing this part, so you don't have to walk through the city. I'm going to just port to a way shrine. The add-on that I just used there is called the House Hotkey add-on. I will link the playlist that I've done for add-ons. I'm using several add-ons in this video. Not a necessary thing. They're not cheeses or cheats or anything. These are tools that are developed by fellow players of the game. Again, because we've got a bounty, we're going to want to squat and walk to the way shrine so that in case we encounter anything, we're going to avoid being caught by the guards. We're going to go to the way shrine right outside of Hughes Bane, and that is going to prevent us from having to walk through the city and find the Thieves Guild opening. That way it's a little bit more difficult. If you go this way, then the Thieves Guild is really easy to find. From this way shrine, you just go straight north, and it's on the outside of the city walls. And so we'll just run around this way and into this opening here, and that speeds up the process quite a bit. So we need to talk to the Thieves Guild Master, and her name is Zeira. So we're just going to go up these stairs like this, and here she is inside. And that will give you a skill point. So we're not finished here yet. We still got to do the next couple of missions here. I do have something to morph there, so I will do that really quickly so that I can get some XP on the next skill there. So we'll just read a couple of books there, and we'll pick up the next mission. And this is going to tell us to meet Zeira outside of Abba's Landing. So we just basically retrace our steps where we just went, and we're going to walk out that same sewer hole this way. and that's going to take us outside of Abba's Landing. If you go out the other exit, then it's going to make you walk throughout the city. Again, we've got a bounty right now, so we just got to be careful not to be encountered by any guards. And we're just going to follow the mission point. As you can see, it's down here in this area, so we're going to follow the mission waypoint here. And Zeira is in this little swamp area outside. And we'll need to listen to what she says here. Squat down, and there's an iron wheel messenger here that's been poisoned. So if you've never done any of the Dark Brotherhood, the Thieves Guild, any of that, this build will make everything easy. I've done all of the entirety of the skill line of the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood with this build, and it makes heists, it makes the Black Sacrament missions, all of that stuff incredibly easy. And so basically now what we have to do is go through the abandoned house entrance here, this kind of a sneaky back way into everything. And so we're going to go through this door here. And we've got to go past some guards. And as you can see, I am walking right past everybody. They cannot see me at all. You just don't want to run into them physically. That is a problem if you do that. There is a trap that you can step on right there, that little box. And we're going to go around this direction. You don't have to use any of the hiding spots in this. You do want to cut the traps, or if you're not getting a problem like that where it doesn't show up, you can just jump over it again or walk around the side. That works as well. Sometimes there's a little bit of a bug where it doesn't let you cut it when you walk up like this, and so I just jump over them in most cases. So we're going to walk through here. Again, if this is a long video for you guys, I'm putting chapters in if you want to jump into a different section. Right now we're on the second mission in the Thieves Guild called Cleaning House. So I am going to put chapters if you want to jump to a specific spot and figure out how to do something. I will just put chapters in so you can jump to whatever section you want to do, but I want to make sure that I show how easy this is to do on any character. Again, this build works on any class. You basically just have to use the animal companions in the shadows for a staple, and then I like to use curative rune forms because of the irradiation passive that gives more recovery. So that's basically it. I'm not concerned with combat in here because I'm planning on never being seen. So I don't care about skills, weapons, offensive stats, nothing. This whole entire build is meant to stay invisible. If I get seen, I need to have the resources to get away. So that's the whole overview of this build. So we're just going to progress the mission here and talk to Silverclaw. And then we have to meet Velsa outside. So we're going to have to go through the warehouse here, which means we're going into the trap door to the secret passage. And we're going to go up the ladder to the storeroom. And all these spiders will not see you as long as you don't run into them and you just keep progressing through the room here, especially these two. You just stay left like this. Those are all more decorations. I've never had any of them aggro on me. So Now we need to go south, and so what we're going to do on this part, we're going to stay up here on the platform. This just makes it easier to stay away from all the guards and everything. Again, because we're hidden, they can't see you anyway, but this just makes it a lot easier to traverse everything. And as long as we don't run or roll dodge or anything like that, we stay hidden the entire time. All right, now we're going to talk to Velsa here, and then we're going to end up having to go into the warehouse. And that reminds me, I need to plug in 2 skill points here in case I have more conversations. I want to have Intimidate and the Persuasive Will passive filled in on the Mages Guild so that I can take advantage of those if need be. So for here, this is a little bit of a tricky room. I see people having trouble with this room quite a bit. So basically, she's going to distract Torqueming there, and all we have to do is go over this direction. We don't even have to wait. We're going to walk up this platform here, and there is a barrel that we're going to jump up on. Takes a couple of tries sometimes, but there we go. And then we're just going to jump up on this platform, and we're going to go to the west here. And this makes it so you can avoid all of the lantern guys down below without concerning with them. And then you can go straight out this door here like that to get outside. And again, we still are in the restricted area, so we want to stay hidden. And so we're going to go south up the platform here and search the office. Again, we're going to have to pick a lock, so we're going to get some more legerdemain experience here. And we'll come around here and check the stash. And then we have to hide in this spot and listen to a conversation. Okay, then we're going to have to walk out this way. When she gets done talking, we'll walk out the window again. Now we can go out the window. And we have to return the ledger. So anytime you've got mission objectives like this, you can kind of try and see where they're at to see if you can jump to the next position, and you can go into the journal and the quest and look and see if you can find the mission, the journal mission on the map there. For this particular point, it's a little bit of a difficult situation to see because it doesn't really show you on the map very well. So we'll just run ahead to find. We'll get outside of the area here and it'll be able to tell us where to go. Okay, so I still have a bounty, so I'm not going to run or stand up, because if I run past a guard while I'm standing up, I will be visible. But That's a guard right here, for example. We're just going to keep moving towards the objective. And the reason why I make long form videos like this is in case anybody has a difficulty in a specific spot of a mission. I want to show exactly how easy it is to handle certain things without getting stuck, basically. So he is up by the Thieves Guild. So instead of running all there that way, I'm going to again show how you can get there really quickly. So as soon as you jump out that window in your procedure, you can just port to a way shrine like this. You don't have to go through the monotony of running through that like that. So you can port to a way shrine really quickly and then just go outside of Abba's Landing to the main way shrine like that, and then go into the main Thieves Guild like I've been doing. And that's going to speed up a lot of this to where you don't have to run past guards, get a bounty, get arrested, whatever. And while you're in the Thieves Guild, if you want to clean off your bounty, you can do that. I don't normally do that because it usually just drops off eventually. So I don't really like to pay for the bounties. I know there is an achievement in the game to pay off so much of that, and that will be something I maybe do one day. But um, basically, for this part, you just have to run through the mages or the Thieves Guild and run outside the other door to where you are on the outside up top. And then we're right outside the door here to talk to these guys. So there's the ledger, and then we have to go back inside to speak to Zeira. And this part here coming up is a little bit of the tricky part because Zeira doesn't give you the next mission directly. So you have to get the next mission from a different NPC. So it can be a little bit tricky sometimes to figure out how to progress this. So we're going to talk to Zeira here. She'll give us the skill point, and as you can see, the next mission does not drop from Zeira. So we're going to go over this direction. I'll read that on the post there. And then there is an NPC to speak to if you go toward the cistern area, which is the rooftop exit. And we're going to talk to Thrag here, and he'll tell you that Zeira wants a word with you. So we're going to have to talk to Zeira. It's a little bit of an odd situation, but then you've got to go back inside. And then come up the stairs here. And then you can progress to talk to Zeira again. So then we have to meet Walks Softly at the harbor. So in order to do that, the best way to do that is to walk out the cistern exit. That's the moneylender hallway. And again, I still have a bounty, so I'm going to need to pay attention to when I am walking near guards. So that is very important to keep in mind. I don't want to progress too far without crouching. We are just going to walk over to where Walks Softly is. and he is down by the boots. I walked into a lantern guy's ring there. That's what happened there. That's another problem with running through the city is there are guys with lanterns that can reveal you. That's the one caveat to this build that you cannot avoid is if you walk in one of those lantern rings, it will reveal you to be visible. So be careful about where you're walking when you have a bounty because that can be problematic. So we're just going to run over here to talk to the NPC, walk softly. And then we have to steal a captain's log. So we're going to have to go into a boat over this way. And this can also be a kind of a pain if you're not on a build like this because you've got a lot of enemies in this boat that are in really tight quarters. And it can be a pain to do this if you're not on a build like this. And so I wanted to make a full video to show you how easy it is to do this. It just takes about an hour or so to get every character up, but once you get to this point where you've finished this mission, then you can do heist missions on multiple characters and you have a better chance at farming this more difficult stuff. So we're going to go downstairs here and walk past all of these guys. Just make sure you don't touch them. But as you can see, they cannot see you. And you steal, and then you meet Quen at the harbor. So basically, once you steal that book, then you just leave the boat the same way you came in. All right, then we're going to leave the area here so that we're able to go speak to Quen. And we're going to just run. No, I'm not going to run. There's a guard right there. And as you can see, this is very simple to do when you're on a build like this. You just got to be careful about the lantern guys. They do walk around in the middle of the city. I tend to avoid the middle of the city if I have a bounty because of that aspect, but we're just going to talk to Quen here. And then we need to search the private room. And so that is above, up these stairs. And we're going to eavesdrop first around this way. You just walk up to this and hit the X button and it'll put you in the hiding spot and it will progress the conversation so you can learn about the shop. And once that starts, you can just walk off. You don't have to listen to the entire thing. That's another way you can speed this up and just walk down the stairs. Again, I am squatted. I'm not standing up. I'm just squatted down the entire time. And we're going to go into the door here. Talk to Silverclaw. And then we have to meet Perseus. We'll go back up the stairs. And it's above, so we're going to go up the stairs one more time. And in this door, and as you can see, there's a guard right here at the top of the stairs, so be careful. He's got one of those lanterns. You don't want to walk in those, otherwise it will reveal you. And we need to speak to Perseus. He's just in on the right-hand side here. go to the store and purchase the servant outfit. And then we have to meet Velsa outside the Citadel. So I'm just going to port out to a way shrine because this next section is not in the town. It's in the lower section of Hughesbane. So I'm going to, again, avoid having to walk all through the city with a bounty. And it ports me right outside my Northern Elsweyr house here. Again, that's with the house hotkey. And again, I forgot to stay hidden. So there, I'll just pay the bounty and get rid of that. As you can see, that's what happens when you forget to remove your bounty. So I will get to this way shrine and we'll ride down to the lower way shrine here. To progress to the next part of the mission. And again, why I'm bringing this mission up and this process up, is going to help you be able to farm stuff across all your characters if you've got a good build for it and you've progressed the Thieves Guild to where you can do daily heists. You'll be able to increase your farming. You'll get some XP by doing some of the missions. Skill points as well will help. So now that I don't have a bounty, this will help quite a bit now. So now we've just got to steal from the Iron Wheel. The main enemy of the Thieves Guild is the Iron Wheel. So again, we're just going to walk past all of this stuff. The only thing we got to be concerned with are these land traps there, like I just walked into. And if you stay crouched and hidden, they will not be able to see you. So we're going to talk to Cause. You want to avoid these land traps. Those act just like the lanterns. They will pop you out of stealth. So you have to go around like that. Read the document, and then you can progress to the next objective. You can jump in squat mode, you just can't run. So also you can disarm the traps if you're squatted down like this. That does not alert anybody, as you can see. I'm just undoing those right in front of the guy. The only thing that you have to be concerned with are the lantern guys and the ground lights. So as soon as we take this, now we're going to see we have to enter the Iron Wheel headquarters. So we'll turn around and walk towards the objective that way. We're in a restricted area here, so you don't want to run through this. Otherwise, you're going to have to start fighting guys. Again, it's just a lot quicker if you just do like I'm doing here and avoid combat. You can just pretty much walk past everything, and it speeds everything up, makes it so you can do it on absolutely any character. You don't need to be super power leveled for this. You can do it on any character, any class. And that is why I built the build this way. You can put it on any character. You do not need vampire. As I've shown, you can just be invisible. Nobody can see you. You don't need to run from anything. If you do get spotted, I have displayed in other videos, such as my Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood video, how you can get away from people if you do get spotted. So now we're just going to steal that document. We're going to learn Cash's cautious plan. And as soon as this gets done, we'll get told to leave the area. And again, this mini map here really makes this part helpful, so you can kind of just pay attention to where you're going. On these, all you have to do is jump over them in case you're having trouble with this portion of the mission. This is another reason I make this video so long, so that I can show every stage of this process of how you can get past everything. So here we're going to have to listen again for a little bit of a conversation. And then once this finishes, we can turn around and leave. All right, now we can leave the headquarters. I'm going to try something in the video just to show you guys what you can do with this part. You can just pour it out like this rather than walking through the whole place. And once you are out of the headquarters, it will advance your objective. So now all you have to do is meet Zeira at the Thieves Den. So you don't have to even walk through all that stuff. Again, we can just port out, go to the Abba's Landing Way Shrine, and we'll just go to the Thieves Den, just speed things up like that. So you don't have to go through every little part of the mission if you don't want to. If you want to experience the mission, then you by all means can do that. But I'm showing you how you can speed the process up on your alternate characters if that's something you want to do. You can always port out to a way shrine and just walk into the Thieves Den for that part. You don't have to go through all the obstacles. Once you get done with that conversation, you run inside here to speak to Zeira. And you have to listen to their conversation as well. There's a couple of things on the table there to read. And then as soon as they're finished, you'll be able to speak to Zeira. And get the skill point. Okay, so once you get to this point, now you can pick up heist missions. And how you do that is you walk over here to the board, and now you can see there's a mission here. So we're just going to pick up the note from Velsa, and we're going to start Master of Heists mission. So now we have to meet her outside the den. So we're going to go to the other entrance of the den, which is through this other way. And we're going to go to the roof. Which is the cistern exit. And then we're going to walk around and talk to Velsa. Now we have to talk to Farandar, and he's down by the docks. Or I should say in the middle of the city, not down by the docks, but he's over here in this merchant area. And then once we do that, we've got to go back to the Thieves Den and go by the heist board where we first picked up the mission for this, the Master of Heists mission. And so now we're just going to run back to the Thieves Guild. If you don't know how to find this place very easy, again, it's always easier to just port out to a way shrine and go in from the outside wall like I've been showing you. Once you memorize the path of how to get here, you can do it that way, but I think it's a lot easier to learn how to get here from doing it in reverse, getting inside and then going out that door and reverse your steps kind of thing. So we're going to go back over here to where the board is, where we picked up the mission. And that's where the NPC is standing, Tharandar, and he is going to complete the quest. And once that happens, now you can pick up heist missions on this character right here, and you can start doing heists on your character. So that was a lengthy video, I know, but I wanted to show the step-by-step process on how to do that so that if you're curious or wanting to do that, you can. And I showed you how easy it is to do on this build. Again, I will link my build in the description if you're wanting to do that. Check out my description for all my information. If you thought this build or video was helpful, please like the video and consider subscribing to my channel. I have a very large catalog of videos on my channel. They are all organized by created playlists. And so if you go onto my YouTube channel, go down to my created playlists, they are all organized and separated in that manner. Check them out, see if there's any other interesting videos there for you to learn about the game. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye.